He has always been the most interesting man in any room the camera placed him in. Unsettling, magnetic, and operating on a creative frequency so particular and so completely his own that even the most celebrated actors who worked beside him would occasionally lose the thread simply because watching him was more compelling than remembering their own lines. James Spader built one of the most distinctive careers in American film and television across 4 decades. And the tragedy accumulating quietly around him is one that his extraordinary performances have always been just powerful enough to obscure. James Spader was born on February 7, 1960, in Boston, Massachusetts, into a family of educators whose quiet intellectual seriousness he absorbed completely and eventually channeled into something considerably less quiet. He dropped out of Phillips Academy, moved to New York, worked odd jobs, and spent years studying acting before Hollywood found a use for him. When it finally did, the results were immediate. Sex, Lies and Videotape in 1989 announced an actor of rare and unsettling intelligence that the industry simultaneously recognized and had no idea what to do with. Pretty in Pink. Less Than Zero. Secretary. Boston Legal, 3 Emmy Awards and a character so precisely calibrated that it ran for 5 seasons on charm alone. The Blacklist, Raymond Reddington, a creation so singular and so completely inhabited that it ran for 10 seasons and introduced him to an entirely new generation who discovered everything else backward from there. But the tragedy was never about the work. James Spader has spoken in rare and carefully chosen interviews about a loneliness so persistent and so consuming that even decades of celebrated performance never touched it. He is a deeply interior person in an exterior profession. Someone who lives most fully inside characters and finds the ordinary rhythms of human connection genuinely difficult to sustain outside of them. That is not a complaint. It is simply the honest accounting of a man who has always been more comfortable being someone else than being himself in public. His marriage to Victoria Keel lasted from 1987 to 2004, 17 years that produced 2 sons, Sebastian and Elijah, before ending with the quiet devastation that long marriages carry when they finally conclude. The dissolution reorganized him in ways he has never fully addressed publicly but that those who knew him described as profound. He then entered a long relationship with actress Leslie Ann Vogel, with whom he has a 3rd son, Nathaniel, born in 2008. That relationship has been maintained with a privacy so complete that most Americans have no meaningful picture of who James Spader actually is when the cameras stop. The Blacklist ended in 2023. He has taken no significant role since. He has given almost no interviews. He has retreated into the silence that has always been both his most defining characteristic and his most effective protection. He is 65 years old. The talent was never in question. The loneliness never left. And the tragedy of James Spader is simply this, that the most compelling man in every room he ever entered always seemed to find the room itself almost unbearably difficult to inhabit.